You can reach me by sailboat in the trees when you walk the road. Take a sled and slide down slope to these arms of mine. You can jump on a speedy coat, cross the border in a blaze of hope. I don't care how you get here, just get here if you can. Y'all remember Alita Adams? Um, I feel like in this day and age, I feel like there have been some songs from back in the day that back in the day oh, child. Okay. Let's get together. Sorry. There's songs from back in the day that really just touch my heart today that I still feel like, just speak to a place where I would like to think, speaks about love. I don't know anymore. We listen to so many songs and then you go back and you're like, Now Alita Adams does have a line in her song. It's like you could cross the desert like an Arab man, and I don't think that that really hits very well today. I don't think that like today somebody would put that lyric in their song, but at the same time, I love Get Here. I don't care how you get here, just get here if you can. When they said there's hills and mountains between us, always something to get over. There's always, like, when you're talking about relationships, there's always something to get over for real. Like, it's just so many things that happen in life, and yet and still we find a way to come together. I don't know. But shout out to Alita Adams. I don't even know when that song came out. Let's see if they tell me on here. I was looking up the lyrics on Genius because I wanted to make sure I got them together right, but no, it don't. Oh, 1990, I think it said. Child, 1990. That's a long time ago, for real. And that song still hit. For me anyway. I don't know. But let's move on. What's going on in the world? What's happening? We already know we came from. We're gonna get there in a second. Just hold on. I wanted to first let you know that I am out here. I finished my 30 days of consistent dance posts on TikTok. They're still going on Instagram. If you're watching, they still going up there. I got like 4 or 5 more days over there. Because I started later on Instagram and Facebook. If you're connected to me on Facebook, you see them over there too. Shout out to you. Um, for being over there on Facebook. If you're watching them though, please like and comment under them. It don't cost you nothing but a couple of seconds, and you was gonna waste it on a stranger anyway. Spend that time with me, please. The engagement really does help. Um, and I spoke the other day on TikTok about the fact that I was home the other day. I stayed home from work, wasn't feeling good. But I wanted to make something for dinner, and I needed an ingredient that, they sell at a store not too far from me. So I decided I'm just going to walk on over to the store and grab the item, and as with any other time, when you go to the store, you go with the intent of getting those 1 or 2 things, and next thing you know, you got 4 or 5. So when I came out the store, I had a bag full of stuff, right? I'm carrying my bag, minding my business because there was nobody else's business to mind on the street, and um, a car pulls up beside me. The car pulls up slow. You got the spidey senses. I grew up in the hood. So because I grew up in the hood, you got your wits about you. You should at least. And so this car starts to slow up beside me, and I'm just like, oh, here we go. And it's a man. He then decides to tried to talk to me. It's like, oh, you look pretty. I'm like, thank you. You know, we go back and forth with that, and then he like says like after the third thing, he says like, oh, you look pretty. I said thank you. He said, you looking really nice out here, and I wasn't. I was looking mad regular, but okay, if that's how you want to get me. I said, oh well, I appreciate that. Then he said, let me get your phone number. Didn't ask me if I, didn't wait for me to say you look good too or nothing. Just let me get your phone number. And I said, oh no, thank you. I have a boyfriend. Because back in the day, that worked. You could just get a man to like move along if you were like, I got a boyfriend. Unfortunately, like you can't. I know back then and I know now you can't just tell a man no, I'm not interested. They don't know how to handle that for the most part. So I didn't do that. I gave them the I got a boyfriend line because men will respect other men that they've never even seen before they respect my preference to not want to talk to you. But anyway. He then said, oh, you got a man and he got you out here walking. And I was like, I never really thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense. Why would my man have me out here walking with these groceries? And so I felt embarrassed that I had a man that would do that, even though I don't have a man. I felt embarrassed that I would make up an imaginary man that would not have a car and would have me out here in the streets. And I felt bad our for women because I felt bad for the fact that we even needed to make up such a low man. And I know you're gonna be like, oh, a low man don't have a car. A low man don't have a car and got me out here in the streets walking with the groceries. For me, that's how I feel. So I was like, I felt bad for myself that I would need to make up such a low man to get a man to leave me alone. And I didn't know, I didn't even know I was participating in that because typically, number one, I'm not out in the streets walking around. And number two, people usually don't try to talk to me. I know it's crazy. You would think more people would. When I tell you people never try to talk to me, it is one of the things that I have very little skill in. Because like in practicing, because I like me talking to people, like people showing interest in me, that does not happen. It that also gave me a bit of I felt embarrassed for myself. And I felt bad for myself. Like, why don't people find me attractive enough to ask me out on dates? I work at I work in a place where there are so many people. And I've been there for just under 2 years now, and not once ever has anybody been like, "Hey, you want to go out?" Not an employee, not a visitor, not a nothing. Nobody has ever said you look pretty. No, none of that stuff has ever happened. And I came from a job where I didn't work with any people. And I thought going to a job where there's so many people that at least somebody would be like, she's pretty. Let me strike up a conversation with her. Oh, she's interesting. Let me, ask her on a date. Not one. Not one. I don't be outside and people be trying to ask me for dates. I don't, it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that to have a pity party, just to say like the experience. Um, when this guy stopped me, it was weird. Now I got around the corner and another older gentleman did the same thing. This guy was like, "Hey, get in the car," and I was like, "I'm not getting in the car with you. You're a stranger." And he was like, "Oh, but it looked like it's about to rain." I was walking with a huge umbrella. So I said, "I have an umbrella. Don't I look prepared?" And he was like, "Yeah, but I could get you there faster." And I felt nervous because I was like, he's pushing real hard for me to get in this car. And when I tell you there was nobody around, if he had got out and attempted to try to get me in the car, nobody would have seen it. And I would have been alone. And it made me afraid to be out in my neighborhood. I don't live in where I live is not the most dangerous neighborhood, but I live close to the line to the dangerous neighborhood. And the store I was going to is closer toward the dangerous part than the safer part. But I didn't think about that either. I was just going for the walk. And I feel like, am I too old to be outside like that now? Or am I just unaware? Maybe it's something. I don't know. But I just want to tell y'all, like, I had this experience. I don't like how I feel about it overall. My daughter told me that I need to get a text now app phone number so that when people try to ask me for my phone number, I can give them that phone number, because not giving the phone number out is dangerous. And I have seen many videos of women not wanting to give their phone number to men, and being accosted, and I've seen the stories of them being shot and things like that. And I in my mind, I guess I just assume two things. One is that that's what happens with the young kids, not the older gentlemen that would be trying to talk to me. But also, I'm not, again, because people don't be trying to talk to me. I never even thought that I would need such a thing, because people don't be trying to talk to me. Well, I need to give out fake phone numbers. But I now do have one. Shout out to Text Now. I now do have a fake phone, a Text Now phone number, um, to give out in case this ever happens again. But I also plan on not doing that. It just seems like, I've been to lots of places. I go to many places alone. Like, I go to, y'all know, I go to concerts. I go to community events. I go to the music festivals. Let's be outside, the arts festivals. I go to all these things, museums. I do all these things alone. And nobody ever really talks to me, to be honest with you. Like, I just be outside. I like going outside. I never do it. I'm not saying that I don't have friends, but I think I've said this more than once. My friends don't live in this city. It's hard to like connect with people here, because I created when I was younger, and when I say younger, I mean my 20s and my 30s. I was very heavily involved in church, and so all I did was literally, I went to work and I went to church. And I mean during the week as well. Like, I was at work. Sometimes I was working on the clock and at church at the same time. I was in choirs. I was, working with the youth. I was teaching dance and mime. Yes, I taught mime back in the day. If you don't like it, that's on you. I don't do it anymore anyway. But I was teaching dance and mime. I was overseeing other people who were teaching. I was mentoring, that type of thing. I did all of that at church. And so outside was not where I was for years. I was not outside. And now that I want to be outside, it seems like those people that I connected with at church, they didn't decide to come outside with me. And so a lot of the times when I say I want to do some things, they kind of look at it like, I got choir rehearsal, or I have, Bible study and those type of things, and then they never come outside. And then when it's on the weekends, they're preparing to get up to go to church, so they don't want to go outside. And so I just haven't been able to make connections with people who go outside. And it seems to me a lot of times, not gonna lie, it seems like, because there are a lot of women in my age group who are married, they don't really take too kindly to the single women, because they want to protect their man. And if I say like, oh, I'm not even really into men like that for real, like I really don't care about the men all like that. Nobody trusts that, and then everybody thinks I want to talk to them. And so either way, it's hard to make the connection. So, I really have been greatly considering relocating to try to make friends. I have friends that are, like I said, I have friends in other cities. I talk to them all the time. I mean, like, literally, if it's not daily, we talking every other day. I'm talking to those people, but I never see them, because you can't just be like, oh, I can't. I don't live the life yet where I could be like, oh, it's Friday night. Let me drive or fly over to go see my friend for the weekend and then come back home. I don't live that kind of life, and so I talk to them a lot, but we don't spend a lot of time together. So I have been really, on truthfully and honestly, been considering um uh what's it called? Relocating, so that I could just, work on connections. But um Don't cry for me, Argentina. Let's move on to the next thing. What have I been watching on TV? Child. I watched I'm still watching Fight Night with Kevin Hart. You know that's on Peacock. It's Kevin. I don't know why I say Kevin Hart like he's the biggest name on there, but Kevin Hart, Samuel L. Jackson, Taraji P. Henson, and Terrence Howard and Don Cheadle are the to some of the big names. They got a lot of people in this one though. Anika Nani Rose is in here. I can't think of his name, but he's the guy for me was on Survivor's Remorse and he played the cousin. I can't think of his name right now either, but he's one of those underrated actors. I really why can't I just look it up? I can. That I really like. It is a is it a it's like one of those heist movies. Uh shows, excuse me. It's a heist show. It's not a movie. I thought it was a movie when I first checked it out. I did think it was a movie, but it's not. It is actually a series and it comes on every Thursday. Like each episode comes out every Thursday and it's really good, y'all. Like I think the first 4 episodes are out that y'all would, appreciate. I'm trying to see who else is in this Chloe Bailey was in this for a while. Um David Banner is in here. When I tell y'all it's a lot of people coming, it's a lot of people going on in and through this one. This is a really good oh, Rockman Dunbar is in here too, y'all. Y'all know Rockman Dunbar. He was Terry's husband in Soul Food. He's been in many other things. He was Sanaa Lathan's husband in The Family That Prays. Uh, there's a lot of people in here. This was a really good one. If you have Peacock or you know somebody who got Peacock and can give you the password, ask them for it because yeah, it's a really good one. This one it's about a what is it about? It is about a heist that it's about a robbery that happened the same night as a big Muhammad Ali comeback fight. It was the Muhammad Ali comeback fight after he had been banned from boxing. This was the like one of the comeback fights, and so these people decided to rob some guys. And then they turned out to be like all the big time hustlers around the country. So it's a very good movie show, and they're doing a wonderful job at it. But I'm also watching a couple other things. I'm watching this series also I just started called How to Die Alone. It is really good, you guys. That's on Hulu. Um, and it is about let's see, they're trying to give me, they're trying to act like they don't know. They trying to act like they don't know. This one is with Natasha Rothwell. Natasha Rothwell is the woman who was on Insecure. She played Kelly on Insecure. I don't know where else you all know her from, but if you watch Insecure, that's her. She's also the woman who will be playing Risa Tisa in the remake or the story version or the movie version or the series version. I don't know how it's coming out, but TikTok she had a 52 part series on TikTok that which was like a minute each, so it was like just under an hour of storytelling. So I think they're gonna roll that into a small mini series or something. But Natasha Rothwell is in that. This is about a woman up in age who I think she's playing her 30s though, not really sure, can't remember, but it's about this woman who works at the airport and she just has hit a point in her life where it's just like nobody, I don't have no people, I don't have no nothing, and I'm like my life is not fulfilled. And after listening to me, you can see why it will resonate with me. She goes to the hospital because she gets sick. The woman beside her um passes away, and the woman in the bed beside her passed away, didn't have no people, and it was just kind of like, I need to figure out my life because I don't want to die alone, right? So if I'm going to die alone, how do I do that the best way that I possibly can? It's pretty much how it is. You think it sounds like it's sad, but it's not sad at all. Like there's sad moments, I guess, but it's actually more like a comedy. So, um, it's really good. It's on Hulu, like I said. I think there's 4 episodes of that as well. So you could jump in on that still and binge it on the weekend and let me know how you feel about it. I have been entertained. There's one part where a friendship, there's a situation with a friendship, and it spoke so much to a friendship that I am in right now that I think needs to go the same way. I would like for it to go the same way. And I was like, is this me? I don't work at the airport, but I don't know. And so I like when shows are geared more towards my age group and the life that I'm, pretty much living. I can't get into a lot of the series anymore where it's about 20 somethings. Those is kids to me, and I can't watch those too much. I try, but I'm just like, it's a bunch of high school kids. I don't care if the parents is involved. I don't want to watch high school kids dramas series. I don't like, I'm not watching that, which is why I've been wanting to watch Bel Air, but I tried to watch the first season and then I was just like, this is about a bunch of kids. I don't care enough. The nostalgia from the comedy series with Will Smith doesn't pull me in enough to watch the series. Not gonna lie to y'all, sorry about that. Okay, so the last thing that I'm watching that worth mentioning this week is this documentary called Into the Fire. It's on Netflix, y'all. Y'all know I'm a documentary girly. This thing was wild. It was wild. What's the synopsis of it? This woman, had a child at a very young age, and she had to give the child up for adoption. She always regretted it her whole entire life. She regretted that she gave that child up for adoption. So when she was of age and was, in a healthy relationship and all of that, she decides that she wants to find her adopted child. When she goes looking for the adopted child, it's a sealed adoption. It was years ago. And so she was just like basically turned away. However, the agency then says, hey, we were trying to get in contact with you for a while though, because that child that you adopted, that you gave up for adoption, went missing. And we had found a person that we thought may be the child, but we can't identify them without some kind of DNA. And you are the only person that has the DNA that would match because adopted parents don't. So we don't know if the person that we found is your daughter. From there, y'all, okay, I don't want to tell you no more. I want to tell you all of it, but I don't want to tell you no more because I'm like, I watched it and was like, what the hell am I watching? It just, y'all gotta watch it. It's called Into the Fire. It's on Netflix. It's a documentary, which means it's not a bunch of episodes. I think they broke it into 2 episodes, but you can watch them back to back because once you finish the first one, you're gonna be like, wait, time out, hold on, what? And so, yeah, yeah. I I've never seen a documentary. I don't think I've ever seen a documentary, and I was just like, people are so okay. Um, But shout out to the people who keep on finding these stories to tell, because y'all, everybody got a story, and everybody's story is very interesting. It just is who will tell it, who's willing to tell their stories, and who's willing to showcase those stories. That's all there is about it. Okay, so that's what I've been watching. That's all I have been watching. nothing else going on the TV front for me. So let's get into it. There, and also, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm about to watch it before we get into it. But I haven't watched it yet. But I want you all maybe to jump in before with me, so when we talk next week, we can have something to talk about. I'm starting to watch a show called Child Stars. It's on. Oh, child, I don't know what it's on, but it is a documentary. It's talking about some of the child stars, and I'm going to watch it because I saw a clip of with Raven Simone, and Raven Simone is one of those people that is very interesting to me. Um, Raven Simone Gay, as she has told us her middle name is. But she's a very interesting woman to me because one time she said in an interview that because she worked so young, she had to learn these lines and then hurry up and forget them so that she could learn other lines. And so she was taught to like only hold information for a small amount of time. And so a lot of times she has trouble with keeping things long term. So things may happen and she don't know how to like store them in her long term memory because she was more trained to have short term memory and then delete that memory to replenish that memory. And that alone is just very interesting. But to also know that she came into this industry at like three into this, like I'm there. I'm not. Look at me. But she came into the entertainment industry to at such a very young age, and she stayed there. And so a lot of times, the way that she sees the world, opposed to how the world wants her to see the world, don't match up. And there's like a disconnect between us, the like quote unquote regular people, and somebody who's always seen the world in this way as a celebrity who made a lot of money, who had expectations, who had to pretty much be the breadwinner for her family at like five. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want to see. I like listening to her. She's one of those other people that I really do like listening to talk about how things could go. Because we always had these fantasies of like what our life would be like if we was a Disney kid or if we was a, you know, child star or an actor or actress today. There's a lot of us who, feel like we know what we would do if we were celebrities, but I really just don't think that any of us know until we get into it. And that will bring me to the next story. Brashear Gray. Y'all know Brashear Gray? Brashear Gray used to be Hakeem on Empire. Apparently, if you remember, he was Hakeem on Empire and he was rapping on there and he was trying to be a rapper at some point, and then he got a couple of other roles. I think he was in the New Edition docu series. Remember they had the New Edition docu series? They had all those young men doing playing roles, and he played Michael Bivins on that, and he was on like one or two other things, and then he just kind of like disappeared. Empire went off. We didn't see the man no more because where is this young man? And then next time we saw him, he was getting arrested. There was like allegations of domestic violence. There was allegations of drug abuse and all this stuff, and then we hadn't seen him anymore. Apparently, he just resurfaced on Twitter, and he's um in the OnlyFans business, if that makes sense to you. And people are still really concerned about that young man. I feel like he's somewhere on along the lines of Orlando Brown now, and that's scary to me. Um, the industry, the industry will take you and eat you up. Very, very clear that that's what's happening. Um, But the young man, Rich Homie Quan, just passed away. He's a rapper, if you're not familiar. I don't want to butcher this child's song, but that song would live this here lifestyle. That's all I'm gonna give y'all because I don't want to make fun of how people do because we don't really understand. A lot of us don't understand what he's saying. But he was like, I believe he was one of the mumble rappers, and he died from allegedly, apparently a drug overdose. I'm not sure, but um that's what seems to be the case in what's going on here. I don't know if I spoke about him last week, so I wanted to make sure I give him an RIP. We also lost Frankie Beverly. Um, but I think we spoke about that last week. I don't think that was this week. Um, so um I'm bringing up Brashear Gray because Brashear Gray gonna lead me into the topic. Brashear Gray, not only was he doing all these TV shows, apparently the talk is that he was connected with Will Smith to try to mentor him in this, acting career, but then he once wanted to be a rapper, and the allegation allegedly, don't know for sure, is that he was sent to be with Diddy. And he got with Diddy, and the next thing you know, nobody seen him no more, and he's now having the troubles that he has, and he lived this life of OnlyFans on Twitter. Um, yeah, watching Sean Combs, I don't really like to keep on calling him Diddy because that's a character, and I want to speak to the actual person of Sean Combs. And we seen a couple of months ago Sean Combs' house being raided, and it was just like, what happened with that? Because nothing really happened. They raided the houses, and then they didn't tell us anything, but there was a lot of speculation about things because we've been hearing about Diddy parties for years. We've been hearing about Diddy not taking care of his artists for years. We have been hearing about him owing everybody who has ever worked with him under that bad boy umbrella, owing them all money and never getting it for years. I don't know if you all remember, but not too long ago, even Mace, um, y'all remember Mace, bad, 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 bad boy. You make me feel so good. You make me feel so good. You make me feel so good. Okay, so Mace, um, was his artist for a long time after the Biggie situation. And then he also decided he was leaving the industry. He became a minister at one point, and then he came back to the industry, and I think he tried to rap for a little while, and he don't do that no more. And now has a podcast with Cam. Y'all know Cameron. He was a rapper too. Was the one famously known for wearing the pink leather, pink fur coats back in the day. So they have a podcast. I believe it's supposed to be a sports podcast, but they be talking about a lot of stuff. I only just see clips of it. I've never seen an actual full episode. I just see clips of it on. So I don't know. But they sued him at one point for his money and his royalties, and Puff was like, you ain't getting it, or you could buy your masters for X amount of money. It was like very ugly. It was like, very ugly situation. But people also celebrated and championed Puff because Puff had the record label. He had the restaurants. Y'all ever heard of Justin's? I believe it's in New York. He had the record label. He had the restaurants. He had Ciroc, and everybody was buying the Ciroc up in all the flavors. Um, and he was doing lots of things, and then he came up on that he's a black man billionaire. Everybody was celebrating all of these come ups. It was just like, he doing the daggone thing. People, there were lots of men who loved to celebrate the women that he dated, and it was a lot of celebrating the man because we saw them come up. We feel like we saw them come up from the trenches, and then to come from the trenches, he really never was on the trenches, but to come up from being an assistant at a record label to owning a record label to successfully putting out many artists. He had the TV shows, the making the bands, all of that kind of stuff. He was a judge on what was it, the Four or something like that. He was a judge on one of those music showcase shows where nobody was really actually made, you know, famous record. But he did that, and um people really celebrated the man. They really did. But at the same time, there were always the rumors about a Diddy party. There was always rumors about, a sinister side to the man. And it was like we just pushed that to the side because we didn't see it. We couldn't see that. All we saw was success, lavish lifestyle, cars, money, hoes, like all the stuff they're supposed to, we supposed to be striving for when we chasing the bag. We felt like he grabbed that bag, held on to that bag, and filled that bag up with gold, right? And so it was a lot of situations that, even though we kept hearing about them from the celebrity's point of view, we never thought about who else was there that was being like, quote unquote used. And one of the most sad things for me is that too many people do believe that everybody who is involved always wants to be involved and is having fun, right? But I, last week or this week, Diddy got arrested. And when he got arrested, everybody was like, we knew he was going to get arrested because of the raids. We was like, okay, we knew he was going to get arrested. Then the indictment came. When the indictment came, well, first of all, we do know that before even that, Cassie sued him. It's me and you now. I've been waiting. Think I wanna make a move now. Remember that? That was Cassie. I've been waiting so long for you to answer this call. Okay. Um, she sued him. He said that she said that you was, abusing me, using me. He said I never did none of that. She said, okay, I'll sue you. He said, psych, now let me give you this money. She gave the money. They settled out of court. Not too long after, for whatever reason, a video, I don't know why the video came out when it did, but it got to all be part of the plan. So a video came out of him actually assaulting her in a hotel hallway. And we saw it. We saw her trying to run away from him, get away. He caught her and he assaulted her. And so everyone was like, oh, he do really be doing this stuff. At least that time. Then he got on and was like, it was a one time thing. Never did it before. Never do it again. And we all was like, okay, why you say you never did it if you did do it? At least that one time. And if you lie about the one time, I don't believe it was a one time because that don't make no sense. Okay. And then just recently, Dawn from Danity Kane and Dirty Money, she sued him. She sued him saying that he owed her a lot of money, that he has not been paying that money back from work that she's done. That she, because Dawn wrote a lot of songs for Dirty Money. She wrote a lot of songs for Danity Kane. And so she was like, he still has not paid me for that. But also, I was around when he beat up Kim Porter. I saw him beat up Cassie. I saw him throw parties and do some heinous things to some people. I saw him provide people for other people to be able to do heinous things for them. I saw him forcibly give people drugs. He forcibly gave me drugs. He forcibly, wouldn't let me sleep, all these type of things. These are all allegations from Dawn, not from me. I don't know. But that's what her court papers say. And after that, I thought we was going to get a quick, let's pay her too and shut her the hell up type thing. But that didn't happen because right after that happened, next thing you know, it was something talking about, oh, Diddy got arrested. And we was like, Diddy got arrested for the thing with Dawn? And they was like, no, here go the indictment. And the indictment was like, yeah, trafficking, drug use, racketeering, all of that stuff. And they sued every one of the names that Sean Combs has gone by. Remember all the times he was coming up being like, hey y'all can call me Puff Daddy now. Hey y'all can call me P Diddy now. Hey y'all can call me Puff. Hey y'all could just call me Diddy. Hey y'all could just call me P. Hey y'all could just call me Brother Love. Hey y'all could just call me Love. I don't even know, was he actually really changing his name legally? Because on the indictment it had every AKA that he done told us to call it. Every version of his name they asked us to call him, we did. It's on there. The indictment wasn't about Dawn at all. It was about trafficking people. It was about drug trafficking. It was about just what the hell. Now, in that indictment, there is a thing where they're talking very, about, there was like, they found baby oil in the house, I guess 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and lube in the house, but also, and everybody is stuck on that. Everybody is stuck on that because that's entertaining to them. And they think that this is still fun. Like, oh, what was they doing with all that baby oil? Somebody they were using that on who didn't want to be there. And that's where what gets me concerned, because the indictment also says that there were lots of people who needed to there was like a cleanup crew. So his people would rent out like Airbnbs and hotels and whatnot freak off parties, and they would bring in sex workers. I don't know if they were workers or if they were indentured indentured what do they call indentured slaves. I don't know. I'm calling them slaves at this point. To you work these parties. They were not there because they wanted to be. They weren't there for the fun of it. And those people were given narcotics to help them be able to sustain the amount of time that their bodies needed to be used at these parties. And then after they drugged them up and gave them a bunch of alcohol so that people could flop them around and pass them around, they were then given IV fluids. So there was some kind of staffing, I'm hoping nurses, who would come in and then give these people IV fluids to replenish them because they had been depleted of everything used at these freak off, quote unquote, I'm using finger quotes if you didn't watch me, but parties. Um, and I know that a lot of people catch the whole I want to be entertained by the fact that, oh, what was they doing with this baby oil? They were using it on people who didn't want the baby oil. That's what they were doing. And that's what's a travesty here. This is not entertainment, y'all. This is a travesty. This is sad. And I've been coming on here and I've been going to many other places to say, like, where is the line? How do you know? Do you know that you've met the line where you're going to cross it? And from here on, evil will ensue for me to keep the positions that I have. I I don't know if people know where the line is, and I am concerned because it seems like so many people are entertained by the fact that people have crossed that line and get to do like quote unquote whatever they want, right? And it's a lot of, for me, what's sad is it's a lot of Christian people who keep being like, well, if they didn't want to be there, why did they go? It's almost like they don't understand that evil happens in a way that they never experienced, and so because they've never experienced it, everything must be willing, everybody must want to do it, and it's that is not what happened. Hell, I've worked a job where we would sign off on things that either we never did, like they would have us sign off on things that was like a training we never received, but for the state they needed to say that they gave it to us, and they would just be like, you know about the thing, so just sign off on it, right? And that's a line that I crossed, that I was willing to cross to keep my job. I was willing to cross just that small little line of lying to lying to say that I received some training that I never got, lying for my company to say that my company gave me that training that they never gave. A lot of you all do those small things just to keep the little bit of job you have, to believe that other people aren't willing to do bigger things for the kind of money that is there, or for the hopes that they're going to be able to get the song, make the record, do the thing, get the audition, all those things. We don't know because we've never been there, but I can't imagine. Remember one time on Love and Hip Hop, for y'all people who used to watch Love and Hip Hop back in the day, Erica Mena used to date Rich Dollaz. Erica Mena was dating Rich Dollaz because Rich Dollaz told her he was going to get her a record. And remember, he had her in the studio doing the record, and she was singing the record, and she was willing to cheat on Sin so that she could get the record because Rich was telling her he really liked her, and he thought she was beautiful, and he thought she could sing enough to do this record, and he was going to put the record out. And Rich Dollaz had made somebody famous. I don't know who Rich Dollaz worked with. I don't know. And then Yandy was involved, so it was like Yandy going to get us there and all this stuff. And then soon as Rich Dollaz didn't like how Erica Mena was acting, he took that song and gave it to Olivia. Olivia was the one that used to be with G Unit. He gave the song to Olivia, and Erica Mena was devastated. You took my song. That was my song. I want my song. That's one of the things that has been happening. We don't understand. These women do think they're going to get the thing, and the men are dangling career in front of them, and making them feel like hell. A lot of those women that ended up on Love and Hip Hop ended up there because they were dangled the idea and possibility that you could get your career restarted or started if you come on here and you do this thing, and next thing you know they look a plum ass fool, they on drugs, they making this money, and now they, because they can't do anything else, they got to stay here doing this thing. That's pimped out business right there. You think those girls on baddie are on baddie because they don't, because yeah, some of them have anger issues, and this is a great way for them to fight. But they also, if you're paying attention, they all think they about to be rappers. They all think about the rappers or in the music business. They do these type of things because they think it's going to push them further. You think that if the big mogul, if the billionaire man tell you, yeah, come on over here, hang out with us, we got you, we're going to get you in the studio, and then he put you in the studio, you sing a reference track after reference track, and if you heard, that's how Faith Evans started. So I'm Faith Evans. I'm just doing the reference tracks, and then they gonna give me a song, and then I never get a song, but people are passing me around. Diddy is, sleeping with me and being like, come on, my band, Jamie Foxx. Allegedly, he did talk many times about going to a Diddy party though. So I'm just saying, I don't know, but allegedly, just like, hang out with him for a couple of days. And next thing you know, you looking around like, wait a minute, I still ain't been to. When am I going to the studio? And they're like, oh, we'll get you to the studio. And then they even take you to the studio sometimes. Next thing you know, they're like, here, take this. Because if y'all know, Rich Homie Quan said one of his friends, like a family member, gave him drugs for the first time to help him stay up because he was having a hard time. They on tour, they doing all this stuff. You got to go to here, you got to do this. Somebody said, hey, I can help you stay up without having a problem. Next thing you know, he's taking drugs. That's what happens to a lot of these people. So to think that these people are just doing it because they just want to be passed around, I find it very hard to believe. I find it very hard to believe. Some of these people are literally so. I mean, look at Usher. Usher's mama gave her son to JD, who gave Usher to Diddy. There was no reason for Usher to be around Diddy. He wasn't even a rapper. But he lived with Diddy for like 2 years in some kind of bad boy flavor camp. What the hell is that? We never heard of nobody else. Who else do we even know who said they was in the flavor camp? Who else do we know but Usher? They gave that boy to that man. He just happened to somehow roll it into the success that he's made it into. But they gave a young boy to a man that had no connection to him. His mama sent him over there. And then remember, after a while, Usher was like, you can't even be my manager, mama, because I don't know what the hell you did with me. I'm toe up from the flow up, mind messed up. We know about the warped sense of thought process that Bow Wow has because he was, given to a bunch of different people. At one point, Bow Wow was over in the West Coast living with the hair braider to Snoop Dogg because somebody gave the boy to Snoop. They'll be listening to it being like, oh, he was hanging out with Snoop. He was 6. Why was he hanging out with that man? And Snoop was like, I don't know what to do with the boy. I don't know what to do with the boy. So they gave him to a hairdresser, and he was looking at the hairdresser's house. And one of the girls who used to braid Snoop's hair, he was living with that girl for a while. What was going on over there? And then he ended up back over in Atlanta with JD. What was he doing with that man? Yeah, it gets to just be like, oh, them people must have wanted to. They didn't, and for your mind to be so crazy to be like, that's what it was. Y'all really do be thinking that y'all know where the line is. But it's a lot of y'all who will be mean as hell right now in the name of Jesus. So, your stance saying your viewpoint ain't that great either. Because y'all are some hateful, mean people. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Some of y'all are hateful and mean when it comes to people, and y'all don't have no sympathy or empathy in your heart for what people do. And what y'all are, a lot of y'all don't understand what y'all saying is, I live in the misery that I live in every day. And so because I choose to live in this misery, they should have chosen this misery that I choose instead of going over there thinking they were going to get a better lifestyle. And that for you makes them dumb. And that's sad that that's how y'all think. It said that's how y'all think, but that's how a lot of y'all think. I mean, I can't say nothing about it except to say, hopefully soon this will all pan out and we will get something. Now what I do know is Diddy has not made bail. Apparently he moved to New York about 2 3 weeks ago, and because he knew they were coming for him, and so he wanted to turn himself in, and they tried, him and his team tried to put together a bail package to present to the judge to give him bail, but they said that he had already been like contacting some women to basically get them to not speak against him in an attempt to get them to not speak against him. Puff, they listening to all this. They listening to all the stuff. They got video of the parties now. Apparently, there's a video also with Mary J. Blige in it, and her saying, now this is according to Make It Make Sense memes on YouTube. That's where I got this news from. So I don't know. This is alleged hearsay by way of YouTube, that there's a video with Mary J. Blige in it, and that she's saying that this is my rite of passage. I don't know what she's doing in it. That was not told to me, but this goes big. Y'all remember Mary J. Blige was on drugs for a long time. A long time. She's been connected to Puff for a long time. She's never been on Bad Boy, but for some reason she's been connected to him for a long time. And sometimes the devil come in long fur coats and record labels. I don't know. And I don't want to hear none of this. Oh, y'all trying to take down another black man? These black men are doing bad things. They're taking themselves down. If you're doing a bad thing, you're doing a bad thing. And I don't care who allowed you to do the bad thing. The fact that the bad thing was your idea is terrible. And that's what we're having the bigger problem. Is why was this idea even in your head? They didn't bring the idea to you. You had the idea. So even if they did it, why did you present that to anybody? Why? What's going on with you? So the bail package, from what I understand, allegedly was that it was like a $50 million bail. He wanted to give up not only his passport but the passports of all his children and I guess people on the team, and that he would stay in a apartment in New York and have no female visitors. But the judge was like, "Baby, you a flight risk. All the way around. You're a flight risk, and we already know. If we let you out before trial come, you will leave this country and never come back. And you had the means to leave, go to a place where they won't extradite you, or we can't come get you, and live there for your live long days with the money that you had. So no, you're not getting out. You'll be here right in this jail until your trial. And the way that they got that Young Thug trial going on, is that Young Thug? Wherever they got that YSL trial going on, and it has been going on for 11 days. I don't know when Puff's gonna go, but they do have him in federal jail, not state prison. This is a federal case, and what they tell me is that um, federal, state, if the state come after you, they looking for stuff and they trying to get you to confess about some things. If the feds come after you, they done found the stuff and they about to tell you what they know about you, and so it's scary. It's scary. I'm sad to know that this man was doing these type of things. If this is true, I don't know. I never been around Puff or anybody who's been close. I'm not 6 degrees in separation from Puff, not at all. But if this is true, it opens up a lot of other questions for me about a lot of other celebrities, and maybe this is where we let celebrity go. Maybe it's a new day and age. It's a new season. Maybe it's a new day. Maybe a fresh anointing coming our way. Maybe, I don't know. But it keeps seeming like it's the downfall of it all. Y'all heard that Kendrick Lamar's end of the party, or last of the party? I don't know. The last Kendrick Lamar song he just put out. Shout out to him going to the Super Bowl. We can talk about that in Lil Wayne. Maybe I'll do a little small thing because I do have opinions about that, but I'm gonna get on it today. But yeah, guys, I don't know. Pray for everybody. I pray those kids, those little twin girls of his that he has. They don't deserve this. They already lost their mama. Now they about to lose their daddy. Who's taking those kids in? Because grandma is all up and wrapped in and through and involved in all of this. From allegedly, from what I understand, grandma wrapped all up in and through and all this too. So I don't know if Diddy gonna take the fall for everybody. That man is 54 years old. He about to be 55 years old going to prison, y'all. That's sad. That's sad. And those girls are teenagers, and if they daddy go to jail, they about to lose. They will have lost both their parents. That they don't have no involvement in any of this, and that's a horrible place to be. And also, even though all of the things speak to horrible accidents happening with the people who've been involved with. I'm also afraid for an Epstein ending. Um, that makes sense. That's a possibility because of all the things he could know. Um, and just the fall. So I don't really champion anybody who finds um pleasure in all of this happening, but I also understand people who were involved in any of this finding pleasure in how all this is going down. So, y'all, everybody, let's take a deep breath. Because that was heavy and it was a lot, but we made it. We made it through yet another week. You know me, I'm over on TikTok, super heavy. I'm talking about lots of stuff over there now. I really have been increasing. I think the 30-day dancing did give me a little bit of boost of confidence. In that aspect, I'm still working up the nerve to go live and talk to y'all. I don't know what I'm afraid of, but that fear has gotten to me. The bug. I've just been afraid in life. I'm learning. We'll unpack that another day. But I am over there. I post every single day. You're gonna get at least two posts from me every single day over there. Instagram, I'm trying to get better at it. And Facebook, I really don't be y'all. Sorry, but y'all not nice over there, and so I don't like to spend much time over there. But follow me on the social medias, like my videos, comment under them. It's all free to you, but it does start to help me in some way. Also, y'all know my cash app is It's Me Danny. If anybody want to buy me lunch today, because y'all know I'm about to go get ready for work. If anybody want to buy me lunch today, it costs you a nice cool $12 at the most. If you want to, just support the podcast so that, we can keep doing this, cash out me anytime you want to. You see my picture up there when you that hashtag, cash app, it's me, Danny. And share these with your friends. Share these with your friends. Subscribe to me on YouTube, even if you ain't watching. Subscribe to me, and then let it play. Sometimes when you about to go, listen. If you about to go get in the shower, hit the button on it. Let it play so that the views run up, so that the people who need to get into the community can find me on YouTube. If you want to support me, that would be a great way to support me. Is to just play my YouTube video, even if you're not listening to it because you already listened to the podcast. Play the YouTube video anyway when you go get in the shower. You're not using the phone anyway, so just play my video. Okay, that's your task for the week. Okay, love it. That's wonderful. Subscribe to this podcast. If you're listening, you're not subscribed. Help me. It don't cost you nothing. It is free to subscribe. Ask for your friends to subscribe to me too, because why y'all not talking about what I said? Oh, okay. That's all I'm saying. So go ahead on and do that. I'll be back next week, of course, because we are being consistent. Y'all, my birthday is coming up as well. It is on September 29th. Do I have a plan this year? No. I'd like to buy a car. So if anybody want to help in any way with that down payment, let me know. I'm trying to either move or buy a car. That's 100% true. Like I said, I got to get up out my place, y'all. It's a lot going on here. But um one of those two would be exciting for my birthday. My birthday's coming up on the 29th. I have no plans except that I have been looking at apartments because I need a one bed. Right now I just need a one bedroom apartment. If anybody got any suggestions of a nice, cute, affordable one bedroom apartment, hit me up on the emails and let me know because I'm willing to check it out. And am I willing to relocate? Yes, I am at this point. I am ready. I am. But also, pray for the people. Pray for yourself. Drink your water, take your vitamins, do something good for yourself. That's not, the typical. Do something good for yourself. Speak kind words to yourself. Get in the mirror and say you are smart, you are beautiful, you are worthy of love. And I'll see y'all back next week, y'all. It's me, Danny, and you've been listening to the Just Saying podcast. Bye.